PC Marcus Wollstonecroft is on patrol with his students when they encounter a moped failing to stop. The driver safely detained following a short pursuit. Neighbourhood Sergeants Mark Foster and Tim Ansell attend the scene when an unprovoked knife attack takes place.
I was on the scene talking to Tim face to face, talking about how we're going to get this bike off the road because it was on its side. Marcus was dealing with the guy who fell off the bike who'd been arrested.
I've heard something happening behind me. So in front of my police car, where the moped was on the floor, I've turned around as Sergeant Foster's has been struck backwards, but because the moped was where it was, it's pushed the sergeant backwards over that basically.
You know, normally when you go to a violent job or you get some indication off the call handler that there's somebody with a knife or there's somebody violent, so you prepare yourself. In this instance, it was none of that. It was a simple case of, you know, I'm talking, next thing I know, I'm being attacked.
And as I've turned around, I've seen that the male was swinging his arms towards Sergeant Ansell multiple times, and I thought it might have been Sergeant Foster, but it might have been Sergeant Ansell who shouted that he's got a knife. And as I've come round the car, Sergeant Ansell's been kind of on the floor, and he's been trying to strike him in the neck, he both on the floor. Tim's been able to stand himself up as I've tasered the first time, because it didn't work then. I've not waited, I've just done it straight away again, but aiming somewhere different, which has luckily worked. I've then basically dived on top of him, whilst Sergeant Ansell's been able to walk backwards away. I arrested him at that point. It's then when I've looked up and seen that Tim's neck had blood all over it.
You know, my priority was Tim in front of me. He's severely injured, I'm trying to look after him. And I had the faith in my colleagues who tasered him and other officers that arrived that they would safely control the other person and put him in the back of a van and deal with him.
1 minute we're just talking about some person who's made off on a stolen moped and dealing with that to 2 sergeants have been stabbed, and I'm having to shout upon the radio to say that officer stabbed.
Cops every single day are facing probably worse than what we face, and we face something that was truly horrific. So, you know, I think the public need to realise how dangerous this job can be out of something that was so innocuous.